a lot of law enforcement were put in very unenviable places, and a lot of armchair quarterbacking from people who have zero backbone to get up, strap on a duty belt and a badge to go do the job, but think they know how to tell the rest of the world how to do theirs. Um, I'm just going to say from the bottom of my heart, how dare you? Bunch of armchair keyboard warriors. I had to keep my mouth shut quite a bit during that time, and I had to hide my disgust with a lot of Christians during that time.
I'd like to add something real quick, brother, in what you're saying, especially to those who profess to be Christians, whose attitude were such towards law enforcement, and many whose attitudes are still like that in regards to law enforcement. If you really cared about what that police officer, that law enforcement officer is doing, if you really cared about the people around that enforcement officer, do you have the spine or the backbone to go hand that officer a gospel tract,
Mm-hmm.
to engage that officer in a gospel conversation or explain the biblical way of salvation to that officer? Then double, how dare you sit back and condemn that officer who is in a really, really tough position, that's having to arrest someone they don't want to. They know it's not right. They have absolutely no choice. More times than not, that officer is not even anywhere close to being a Christian. Not only are you wanting to condemn what they're doing in their career, but you're wanting to condemn and rejoice over their soul, which is damned to hell, while you sit back, mouth off about what they're doing instead of being more concerned about where they're going when they die. If you truly cared, if you truly loved Christ as you claim you do, instead of sitting back, moaning and complaining and griping, you'd get up off your butt, get out of your chair, go find a police officer, thank them, and hand them a gospel tract and explain the biblical way of salvation to them, instead of sitting back in your judgmental eyes condemning that law enforcement officer for what he's having to do.
Yeah, and I will say, I here's something I've always talked to people about. I believe in a healthy skepticism.